Metadata naming matters more than you think. When I designed my example dataset, I honestly thought the names were perfectly reasonable. They were descriptive, they were easy to understand, but the problem was data elements don't just exist in one dataset. They become part of a big metadata library, and eventually that could contain hundreds and thousands of metadata objects. When you look at it that way, good metadata naming isn't a small detail. It becomes part of building a maintainable system. Let me show you what that means. Okay, so what I want us to pay attention to here is the word total in the NCD patients registered. Total NCD is something I want us to highlight, and number of patients is something else I want us to highlight. We need to pay attention to these because the words total and number of patients or number of are not necessary. This is because every data element already stores a number, so the words don't really add meaning. Secondly, it's important to notice this, which would change it. So if they don't have a meaning, then what do we do, right? So if I come to the word total here, and then I'll put NCD, what I would change this to, instead of total patients registered, I'll change it to NCD client. I'll do that. And I'll copy that and replicate it there. The reason I'm doing this is a data element represents a single concept. The values entered over time represent many clients. So this thinking is the same for indicators, it's the same for data elements. So instead of us writing total NCD client registered, I would name it as NCD registered. And if I really want to make sure that someone knows that it's total, I could add total at the end there. And then we can save it, right? So that's how I would name it. Another important thing worth pointing out in terms of the denominator, for future reference and for people to know what the denominator is, I will add this in the description, which is constant of 1, because it makes sense for someone who is looking at this indicator in future to know what the denominator is supposed to do. So it doesn't affect any calculation. It simply documents why the denominator exists for the next person who's maintaining the system. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about metadata naming, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.